Give me the mic. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I want to weigh in what the Honorable Junaid has said about the ruling at the Supreme Court. Honorable Speaker, I want to say this, that the Supreme Court actually asserted the doctrine of separation of powers. The doctrine of separation of powers. The Supreme Court, what it has done is to say Parliament has work cut for itself, allow Parliament to do its work. The Judiciary has work cut for itself, allow the Judiciary to do its work. And I think this is a landmark ruling, Honorable Speaker, delivered by the Supreme Court. And this ruling will allow this country to move forward, government programs to move forward. Otherwise, the article on public participation became the Waterloo in the Constitution itself, because the Constitution could not move forward, implementation of laws could not move forward, because it was always taken back by the issue of public participation. Honorable Speaker, if you allow me to say this, the High Court has continuously abused Article 165, 3D1 of the Constitution, which says that the High Court has jurisdiction on the interpretation of laws, including whether the law is consistent to the Constitution. That Article 165, Honorable Speaker, has been abused by the High Court in such a way that they became a supervisor of the legislature, which is not the role of the courts in this country. The courts cannot be supervisors. They have been given the mandate in the law, Article 165, to check and interpret to the extent to find whether the law is actually inconsistent with the Constitution. And I want to say this, the separation of powers must be respected. Parliament must be given opportunity to work, and this Parliament cannot be supervised by the whole High Court, but the High Court has a role to ensure what we pass here is consistent to the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, they picked the issue of public participation and wanted every law to fall on the sword of public participation. But I want to thank the ladies and gentlemen at the Supreme Court for asserting that we need to give Parliament an opportunity to work by actually giving that ruling, Honorable Speaker. I think Parliament and the nation. Otherwise, I would also say we also need to ensure that the courts do public participation on every ruling that they want to make, so that it becomes cross-cutting. But I want to join Honorable Junaid for bringing this up, Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank the court and the Chief Justice for ensuring that now the issue of public participation will not be allowed to continue to abuse the authority of Parliament. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, we need your numbers. For those who are leaving, we want to request for your patience because we need your numbers in order number 8. You remember we re-altered the order paper, awaiting some good numbers. So may I request that we allow Honorable Beatrice Elachi to say something to this, then we go back to the orders which require your numbers. We ask for your patience to stay within.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me also appreciate our minority leader for bringing this matter. Mr. Speaker, for me, I want to thank the Supreme Court because they've gone back to the act of the Supreme Court. That indeed the purpose of why we had the Supreme Court in this country and we really wanted as an aspiration for this country was which court will be there for public interest. And when you look at the objects of the Supreme Court Act, it is very clear, especially at C, that they need to develop rich jurisprudence that respects Kenyans' history and